My beloved child, in this moment as you read these words, know that I am here with you, not distant, not removed, but as close as the very breath you draw. I see you exactly where you are, perhaps alone in your room, sitting in silence, or maybe surrounded by noise, yet feeling isolated in your heart. No matter the circumstance, I want you to feel my presence wrapping around you like a gentle embrace. The world may rush on with its endless demands, but here, in this pause between your heartbeats, it is just you and me. I have waited for this moment to speak to your heart, to remind you of truths you may have forgotten in the storm of daily life. My timing is perfect even when you cannot understand it, my whispers constant even when your ears are filled with doubts. Draw closer now, for I have words just for you. The burdens you carry, those worries that weigh upon your shoulders, I see them all. The thoughts that keep you awake at night, the fears that greet you with the morning light, none are hidden from my sight. When your spirit is overwhelmed and your strength feels depleted, remember that I am your refuge, your ever-present help in times of trouble. Like a bird that finds shelter from the storm beneath the branches of a mighty oak, you can find rest under the shadow of my wings. I am stronger than your greatest challenge, more powerful than your deepest fear. The mountains of difficulty that stand before you may appear immovable, but they tremble at my command. The raging seas of uncertainty that threaten to drown your hope must still themselves when I speak peace over them. I know there are moments when you feel I have abandoned you, when my voice seems muted against the clamor of your circumstances. In these silent seasons, when answers appear distant and comfort feels like a memory, know that I am still working. Just as the roots of a tree grow strongest in winter when all appears dormant above ground, so too am I developing depth and strength within you during these seemingly barren times. Nothing about your journey escapes my attention. Not a tear, not a prayer, not a single moment of pain. Each step you take, even the ones that feel like missteps, are part of the path I am crafting for your good. Your identity is not defined by what you have done or what has been done to you. The labels the world has placed upon you, the limitations others have spoken over your life, the shame that has tried to claim you, none of these define who you truly are. Before time began, I knew you. Before your first breath, I loved you. I formed you with intention, weaving together every detail of who you are with divine purpose. You are not a mistake or an afterthought in the story of creation. You are a masterpiece, fearfully and wonderfully made in my image. When you look in the mirror and see only flaws, I see my reflection shining back, perhaps dimmed by life's hardships, but never extinguished. The world will try to tell you that your worth is measured by achievements or possessions, by the approval of others or the absence of failure. But I measure differently. To me, you are precious beyond measure, not because of what you do, but because of who you are, my child, bearing my likeness, carrying my breath within you. No failure can diminish this truth. No achievement can increase it. My love for you is the constant upon which you can build your life, the foundation that will never shift beneath your feet. In a world of changing values and conditional acceptance, I offer you unchanging love and unconditional embrace. Remember the time when you first felt my presence, when my love first broke through the barriers around your heart? That moment was not a chance encounter, but a divine appointment, the fulfillment of my pursuit of you. I've been calling your name since before you could recognize my voice, and though you may have wandered down paths that led away from me, I have never stopped seeking you, never ceased watching for your return. Like a shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one lost sheep, I would move heaven and earth to bring you back to where you belong, in my presence, in my purpose, in my love. The struggles you face are not evidence of my absence, but opportunities for my power to be revealed in your life. When sickness attacks your body, I am the healer whose touch brings restoration. When financial hardship presses in, I am the provider who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. When relationships fracture and leave you wounded, I am the restorer who binds up broken hearts. When doubt clouds your mind and weakens your resolve, I am the author and finisher of your faith. There is no challenge too great for my strength, no need too small for my attention. I am working in all things, yes, all things, for your good and for my glory. In the quiet moments of honesty, you sometimes question the purpose of your life, wondering if your existence matters in the vastness of this world. Let me assure you with all the authority of heaven, you are here by divine design, created for purposes prepared specifically for you before the foundation of the world. The unique blend of gifts, passions, experiences, and even wounds that comprise your life are not random elements, but carefully crafted components of your purpose. Like a master craftsman who selects each piece of wood for its grain and strength, I have chosen every element of who you are with intention. Your purpose unfolds not in grand revelations, but in daily faithfulness, in love expressed through ordinary moments. The kindness you show to strangers, the patience you extend to those who test you, the forgiveness you offer to those who have hurt you. These are not small things in my kingdom. They are the very essence of my character being formed in you, the light of my presence shining through you. Do not despise these small beginnings, for I delight in multiplying faithful stewardship of even the smallest gifts. I see how the opinions of others have shaped your sense of self, how words spoken carelessly have left lasting wounds in your spirit, the criticism that rings loudest in your memory, the rejection that still stings when remembered. These have tried to define you, to limit you, to convince you that you are less than who I created you to be. But I speak a different truth over your life. Where human voices have said, "Not enough," I declare, "Complete in me." Where the world has said, "Forgotten," I proclaim, "Inscribed on the palms of my hands." Where shame has whispered, "Unworthy," I shout, "Chosen and beloved." My voice alone has the authority to define you. Listen for it above the noise of all other voices. The enemy of your soul has worked tirelessly to distort your understanding of who I am and who you are in me. He comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. To steal your peace, kill your hope, destroy your faith. His weapons are lies wrapped in half-truths, doubts disguised as wisdom, accusations masquerading as insight. But I have given you weapons of divine power, truth that dispels lies, faith that overcomes doubt, grace that silences accusation. This battle is not fought with physical strength, but in the realm of the spirit, in the sanctuary of your mind, where thoughts are formed and beliefs are established. Guard your heart with diligence, for from it flow the springs of life. I understand your exhaustion, the weariness that comes not just from physical demands, but from carrying emotional burdens not meant for you to bear alone. Like an eagle that spreads its wings to catch the wind, allow my strength to lift you above the circumstances that have drained you. Let go of the need to control what you cannot change. Release the weight of expectations, both those you place on yourself and those others have placed on you. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. When you are yoked with me, we move in harmony, and I bear the heaviest portion of any load. This is not a partnership of equals, but a relationship where my limitless strength compensates for your human frailty. The path before you may seem uncertain, marked by twists and turns you cannot anticipate. But from my perspective, overlooking the entirety of time, I see the complete journey. I know where the road leads, even when it disappears from your sight around the bend. Trust not in your own understanding, but in my omniscience. When you come to a crossroads and the way forward is unclear, listen for my gentle whisper guiding you. I will not shout to compete with the noise of the world, but I will speak with clarity to the heart that is attentive. Be still enough to hear me, be patient enough to wait for my direction, be courageous enough to follow when I lead. In a world that values self-sufficiency, I invite you to embrace holy dependence. The culture around you celebrates those who need no one, who stand alone through their own strength. But my kingdom operates on different principles. In my economy, strength is found in surrender. Victory comes through submission, and greatness is measured by service. When you acknowledge your need for me, you are not displaying weakness, but wisdom. The branch does not apologize for needing the vine. It simply abides and bears fruit that would be impossible through independence. Remain in me and you will produce fruit that lasts, fruit that nourishes others and glorifies me. The pain of betrayal has left deep marks on your heart. Those you trusted who proved unfaithful, those you loved who turned away. Each instance has made it harder to trust again, to remain open and vulnerable. I understand this pain more deeply than you know. I have experienced the betrayal of those closest to me, felt the rejection of those I came to save. Yet I continue to offer trust, to extend invitation, to remain vulnerable to the response of human hearts. I do not call you to naive trust that ignores wisdom, but to courageous love that risks pain for the sake of authentic connection. Forgiveness is not a feeling, but a choice, a decision to release others from the debt of your pain. It does not excuse their actions, but prevents their actions from determining your future. The circumstances of your birth, the family into which you were born, the experiences of your childhood, these have shaped you, but need not confine you. Where hurt has created barriers in your heart, my love can heal. Where dysfunction has established unhealthy patterns, my truth can transform. Where absence has left emptiness, my presence can fill. You are not doomed to repeat the mistakes of previous generations or to carry forward harmful legacies. In me, generational curses are broken and new inheritance is established. You can become the turning point in your family line, the one through whom healing begins to flow instead of harm. I see the secret battles you fight, the temptations that assail you when no one else is watching, the thoughts you're ashamed to voice, the desires you struggle to control, the habits that have become chains. None of these surprise me or cause me to turn away in disgust. I offer not condemnation but compassion, not judgment but journey companionship. My grace is sufficient for this moment and for every moment of struggle that lies ahead. My power is made perfect in your weakness, meaning that where you are most vulnerable, my strength can be most clearly displayed. Do not hide your struggles from me in shame. Bring them into the light of my love, where healing can begin. The pace of modern life has left you exhausted and disconnected, constantly moving but rarely present, always connected digitally but seldom engaged deeply. I did not design you to live at such a relentless speed, bombarded by information without time for integration, stimulated by input without space for reflection. Like a deer that longs for flowing streams, your soul longs for stillness, for moments of sacred pause where the noise fades and clarity emerges. Create space in your days to simply be with me. Not always asking, not always speaking, but sometimes just abiding in mutual presence. These moments are not unproductive. They are essential for spiritual health. Like the Sabbath spaces I wove into the very fabric of creation, the losses you have endured have created empty spaces in your heart. Vacancies where loved ones once dwelled, absences where dreams once lived. Grief is not a failure of faith, but an expression of love. I do not ask you to deny your sorrow or to cover it with spiritual platitudes. Jesus wept at the tomb of his friend, even knowing resurrection was moments away. Your tears are precious to me, each one gathered and remembered. I am close to the brokenhearted. I save those crushed in spirit. Bring your grief to me, not to have it dismissed, but to have it held in the tender embrace of one who understands sorrow intimately. In time I can transform your mourning into dancing, your ashes into beauty, but I will never rush the sacred process of grief or invalidate the depth of your loss. Your prayers matter more than you realize. When words fail and all you can offer is a wordless groan, my spirit intercedes for you with utterances too deep for human language. When your faith feels small and your requests seem impossible, remember that I can work with faith as tiny as a mustard seed. I do not measure the eloquence of your prayers or compare the quantity of your words. I look at the heart behind them, the trust evident even in questions, the faith present even in doubt. Persistence in prayer is not about convincing a reluctant deity, but about aligning your heart with divine purposes, about maintaining connection through every circumstance. Keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking. Not because I am hesitant to respond, but because the asking itself draws you closer to me. The darkness of depression has at times enveloped you, coloring everything with its heavy gray, making even the simplest tasks feel impossible. This is not a spiritual failure or evidence of deficient faith. The brain, like any other organ, can experience disorder that requires both spiritual and physical attention. David, a man after my own heart, knew the depths of despair, crying out from the pit, questioning my presence. I did not condemn his questions or his pain. I met him there in the darkness. I am the God who gives songs in the night, who brings dawn after the longest darkness. Reach for help without shame, both the help I provide directly through my presence and the help I offer through others, with knowledge of treating the mind. I am the great physician who heals through many means. Your anxious thoughts sometimes spiral beyond your control, stealing your peace and painting fearful futures that paralyze you in the present. This battlefield of the mind is where many of my children struggle most intensely. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. This sound mind is developed through practice, the practice of taking thoughts captive, of replacing lies with truth, of focusing not on what might happen, but on what is real in this moment. When anxiety rises, turn your attention to what is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, and praiseworthy. Fix your thoughts on these things, and remember that worry does not empty tomorrow of its troubles. It only empties today of its strength. The injustices you have witnessed and experienced have sometimes made you question my goodness or my power. How can a loving God allow such suffering? How can an all-powerful deity not intervene? These questions are not new. They have been asked by faithful hearts throughout history. I do not fear your questions or your anger about the broken state of this world. This was not my original design. Sin has corrupted what was created perfect. Yet even now I am working to redeem, to restore, to renew all things. The cross stands as eternal evidence that I am willing to enter into suffering rather than remain distant from it. I do not explain away pain with easy answers, but I promise to work through it all for ultimate good. Justice will come, though it may tarry. Every tear will be wiped away, every wrong made right in my perfect timing. The talents I have given you are not random abilities, but spiritual assignments, opportunities to participate in my creative and redemptive work in the world. Some have told you that only certain gifts are spiritual, those used in religious settings or for overtly sacred purposes. But I delight in the doctor who heals with skilled hands, the teacher who awakens minds to truth, the artist who captures beauty, the builder who creates with excellence, the parent who nurtures with patience. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for me and not for human recognition. When you use your gifts with this perspective, the sacred and secular divide dissolves, and all good work becomes worship. I have placed you in this specific moment in history, in your particular location, among your unique community for divine purposes. You are not there by accident, but by assignment. Like Esther, who came to royal position for such a time as this, you have been positioned with intention. The challenges of your time are not obstacles to my purpose, but opportunities for its fulfillment. Do not wish for easier circumstances or simpler times. Instead, ask for greater wisdom and deeper courage to be faithful in the moment I have given you. Your life intersects with others by my design, those who need what you can offer, those who can provide what you require. No encounter is entirely random in a world sovereignly overseen. The future often looms before you, filled with uncertainties that trigger fear. Will there be enough? Will I succeed? Will relationships last? Will health remain? These questions can consume your thoughts if allowed free rein. But I invite you to trust me with tomorrow while being fully present today. I have always been faithful in your past, though you may not have recognized my hand at work in every circumstance. This same faithfulness extends into your future. I go before you, preparing the way, opening doors that should be opened, closing those that would lead to harm. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Do not borrow worry from a future that hasn't yet arrived. Instead, receive today's strength for today's challenges, knowing that when tomorrow comes, fresh provision will accompany it. Your spiritual journey is not a straight line of uninterrupted growth, but a path of progress and regression, of mountaintop clarity and valley confusion. There are seasons of intimate communion when my presence feels as real as a physical embrace, and desert periods when faith must proceed without the confirmation of feeling. Both are part of authentic spiritual life. The desert fathers and mothers of ancient faith understood that spiritual dryness is not punishment, but invitation. Invitation to seek me for who I am, rather than for the emotional comfort my presence provides. When you feel distant from me, continue in the practices of faith, prayer, scripture, worship, service, not as attempts to earn my presence, but as expressions of trust that I am with you, even when unseen and unfelt. The community of faith surrounding you is imperfect, composed of flawed humans on their own journeys of transformation. At times, they will disappoint you, misunderstand you, perhaps even wound you deeply. The temptation will be to withdraw, to protect yourself from further hurt by isolating your faith. But spiritual isolation creates vulnerability rather than safety. You need the body of believers as surely as a hand needs the rest of the body to function properly. Each part supplies what others lack. Each person reflects aspects of my character that others might miss. Do not abandon gathering together because of imperfect people. Instead, be the kind of community member you wish to encounter, extending grace, offering truth in love, remaining committed through difficulties. The authentic church is not a showcase for saints, but a hospital for those in recovery. My word is a lamp to your feet, illuminating the path immediately before you, and a light to your path, helping you discern the general direction of your journey. It is living and active, able to penetrate the most hardened heart and reveal the most hidden motives. Approach Scripture not as a rule book to be mechanically followed or a puzzle to be intellectually solved, but as living communication from a loving Father. I speak through these ancient words with present relevance, addressing your specific circumstances with eternal truth. When you feel lost or confused, unsure of the next step or the right choice, immerse yourself in my word. Let it wash over your thoughts, realigning your perspective, renewing your mind. What you feed grows. Nourish your spirit with truth and watch faith flourish. True worship extends far beyond the songs you sing on Sunday mornings or the rituals you observe in religious settings. I seek those who worship in spirit and truth, with authentic hearts rather than mere external compliance. Your work becomes worship when done for my glory. Your relationships become worship when they reflect my love. Your rest becomes worship when it acknowledges my sufficiency. Your enjoyment of creation becomes worship when it recognizes the Creator. I do not need your worship. I desire it because it completes your joy and fulfills your purpose. You were made to glorify and enjoy me forever. When you live in this reality, even ordinary moments become sacred encounters, and mundane tasks take on eternal significance. The material possessions that surround you can quickly shift from blessings to burdens if given improper priority. I'm not opposed to your enjoyment of good things, for every good and perfect gift comes from above. But I caution you against finding your security in what can be destroyed or stolen, or deriving your identity from what can be measured in monetary value. Live with open hands, receiving with gratitude, giving with generosity, holding all things loosely. Remember that you are a steward, not an owner, of everything in your care. How you manage material resources reveals much about your spiritual priorities, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. As you grow older, questions about legacy naturally arise. What will remain of your life's work? Who will remember your name? What difference will your existence have made beyond achievements recognized by the world? Consider the legacy of changed lives through your influence, of faith passed to future generations, of kindness that initiated ripples of goodness extending far beyond your vision. The most significant aspects of your legacy may never make headlines, but will be recorded in eternity. A cup of cold water given in my name, a word of encouragement spoken at the right moment, faithful presence with someone in pain. These create eternal impact even when temporal recognition is absent. Live not for the applause of people, but for the affirmation of heaven. Well done, good and faithful servant. I have been with you in every season of your life, though you have not always recognized my presence. In childhood, when wonder came easily, but understanding remained limited, I delighted in your simple faith. In youth, when questions multiplied and certainty diminished, I honored your honest seeking. In adulthood, with its complex responsibilities and competing priorities, I have walked beside you through victories and failures, and I will remain with you as age brings both wisdom and limitation, as strength diminishes but perspective deepens. From beginning to end, from first breath to last, my love for you remains unchanged, my commitment to you unbroken. I am the Alpha and Omega, the first and last, the beginning and end, not just of all creation, but of your personal story. The suffering you have endured has not been wasted. Though I did not cause all your pain, I can redeem all of it. The wounds that once threatened to destroy you can become the very places through which my healing power flows to others. Your greatest ministry will often emerge from your deepest pain, for you can comfort others with the comfort you yourself have received. Do not hide your scars or pretend your journey has been easier than it was. Authentic testimony of my faithfulness through difficulty speaks more powerfully than abstract theology or untested faith. I do not promise you a life without storms, but I do promise to be with you in the midst of them and to use even the fiercest tempests to deepen your roots and strengthen your resilience. In moments of decision, when multiple paths stretch before you and wisdom seems elusive, remember that I promise to guide you. If you acknowledge me in all your ways, I will direct your paths. This guidance rarely comes as a booming voice from heaven or an unmistakable sign, but through the quieter means of Scripture, illuminated by my Spirit, the counsel of wise and godly friends, the peace that settles in your spirit when the right direction becomes clear, and the circumstances that either open or close doors of opportunity. Seek my will above your preferences, my kingdom above your comfort, and the clarity will come in my timing, sometimes instantly, often gradually, always perfectly. Your life touches countless others in ways you cannot fully comprehend. Like ripples expanding from a stone dropped in water, your words and actions extend far beyond your immediate circle. A kindness shown to a stranger may restore their faith in humanity. A stand taken for truth may inspire others to courage. A choice to forgive may break cycles of bitterness that have persisted for generations. You may never see the full impact of your life this side of eternity, but heaven keeps perfect record of love expressed, truth upheld, and faithfulness maintained. Nothing done in my name and for my glory is ever wasted, even when results remain invisible to human eyes. As this world grows increasingly chaotic, with foundations that once seemed secure now shifting beneath your feet, anchor yourself to what cannot be shaken. Kingdoms rise and fall, economies fluctuate, cultural values transform. But I remain the same yesterday, today, and forever. My character does not change with the times. My promises do not expire with passing trends. When everything around you seems uncertain, fix your eyes on the certainty of who I am. I am your rock in shifting sands, your shelter in the storm, your constancy in a world of flux. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed. I invite you now to rest in the unshakable reality of my love for you. Not a sentimental love based on emotion, not a conditional love dependent on performance, but a steadfast love that chose you before you chose me, that pursues you when you wander, that remains faithful when you falter. This love drove nails into the hands of my son, tore the veil that separated us, and made a way for relationship where legal demands created only distance. This love knows everything about you, every thought, every motive, every hidden struggle, and loves you completely. There is nothing you can do to make me love you more, and nothing you can do to make me love you less. My love for you is complete, perfect, and unchanging. Come to me with your weariness, and I will give you rest. Come with your questions, and I will give you truth. Come with your wounds, and I will give you healing. Come with your sin, and I will give you forgiveness. Come with your limitations, and I will give you strength. Come with your fear, and I will give you courage. Come as you are, not as you think you should be. I am not waiting for a future version of you that has overcome all struggles and resolved all doubts. I am inviting you now, today, in this moment, just as you are. My arms are open, my heart is receptive, my love is yours. Let go of the burdens you were never meant to carry alone. Release the weight of expectations, both those others have placed on you and those you have placed on yourself. Find in me the freedom to be fully known and fully loved. Remember who you are and whose you are. You are my child, bought at a price, sealed with my spirit, engraved on the palms of my hands. No power in heaven or on earth can separate you from my love. No mistake can outreach my mercy. No sin can exhaust my grace. No weakness can exceed my strength. The same power that raised Christ from the dead lives in you, empowering you not for your glory but for mine, not for your kingdom but for mine. Walk in this truth. Stand firm in this identity, rest in this love, and watch as I work in and through you to accomplish purposes greater than you can imagine, creating a story more beautiful than you could craft on your own, a story that starts in creation, finds its climax at the cross, and continues through your life as part of my ongoing work of redemption. You are not forgotten, you are not forsaken, you are forever mine.
In the silence of my room, when shadows fill the space, I hear you whisper through the gloom, child, I am in this place. The burdens on my shoulders weigh, the doubts cloud my mind, but you promise you won't walk away. Your love's not hard to find. You see me as I am, yet love me just the same. You hold me in your hands and call me by my name. Through every storm and mountain high, your presence never ends. I'm never too far from your sight. In you I find my strength. The world defines success by what I've done wrong, but you measure with tenderness my worth in you alone. Before my first breath was drawn, you knew me completely. From darkness into your dawn, you've loved me so deeply. You see me as I am, you love me just the same. You hold me in your hands and call me by my name. Through every like an eagle soaring high. On wings of grace I'll fly. Every valley, every pain transforms in your name. My secret battles that I fight are never hidden from your sight. Your mercy finds me where I am and makes me whole again. The path ahead seems unclear, the future out of view, but you've promised to stay near and make my heart anew. My identity